Cool. Awesome. All right. So let's hop into it.
Good.
All right. How are things?
Good.
Yeah,
Yep. Really good.
that's good. I'm happy to hear that. Well, yeah, I wanted to meet with you before this macroactive happening at 12, just so we can get on the same page. Um, Before I kick it off, I just let's give you the microphone, and I'd love to hear like what thoughts you've been having since our last meeting with macroactive. And if there's anything that's been on your mind.
My main thing with any of them, any of the obviously what we would propose, but any of them is just the ability to make this shit get the attention that we need in order to actually scale or sell what we're trying to, in a sense. Like there's still the uncertainty of, yeah, we'll put up this 5 grand, 6 grand or whatever, and possibly not even be able to make it back. So it's like it's scary, but then it's like, you see all these people online with making all this money doing online this and that. So it's like, when do we take the leap? So it's like I don't really necessarily know, but I don't. I'm on the fence. I'm on both sides. Like I definitely, I want to dibble and dabble in some other areas to try to see what we can become successful in. But I'm not. I'm not like 100% sold on it, and I'm not 100% not sold on it. If that makes sense, I know doing it is going to take a lot of work, which is not a problem. It's two of us to actually, put the work onto the project type shit. But that's just really it.
How much money do you have to put towards, if we were to go with the $6,000 package, how much would you be able to put towards it?
I could put down like at least 2K for sure.
2K? Okay. All right. Um, on the topic of work, I feel that, and obviously we'll be able to get a better understanding once we actually voice these concerns to Sean at 12. But I would say that we've both been not the best when it comes to making content that's designed to generate sales and monetize our brands. Um, I think I've made a bit more effort than you, but neither one of us are really hitting it as hard as it would appear that we need to. And in order for, I mean, I'm just guessing that this is something that Sean would say is like, and even if we were to go off of what Greg Doucette was saying, he even right now is um, making it clear that he's taking on coaching clients in his Instagram stories and things of that nature. And when it comes to making content, if we're not making it known that this is what we're offering so far as a way to generate revenue, then it's not going to happen, you know? So that was like kind of like the next thing I wanted to like speak with you about is like, well, all right, I broke it down like in three ways. All right. So obviously, the end goal is the King of Naturals tournament. It's a TV show, and it's supposed to be, a tournament where we crown the first ever Natty King. You already are abreast of all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Between now and the show becoming realized and us actually doing that whole thing, let's say it's a 3 to 5 year project. Um, I would say that there are three primary focuses that we need to allocate all of our attention towards when it comes to this. And that would be monetization of our brands, making money, networking and collaborating, and making content. Now, the cool thing about these three different priorities is that if done correctly, they're all supposed to feed each other. We're supposed to be making content consistently that's supposed to funnel into monetization and also funnel into networking and collaborating. So they're all supposed to kind of be happening simultaneously. Putting it back on you, how do you see content being made moving forward based off of those priorities?
Lifestyle, diet, and pretty much giving more detail and insight. Like you're obviously doing workouts and shit like that, but stepping away from just doing content filled with like it's crazy because I've always had like a feel for what I wanted to be doing on my platforms, but I never had a way to structure it in a way. But like when I would say like I want to like kind of create different content for Instagram that we do on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit that we're putting on Instagram, I feel like that would be a hit on YouTube. You get what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I just feel like that's more lifestyle content compared to what we're trying to do on social media. Instagram now is with like promoting the app and everything like that with the online coaching and shit like that. Um, I feel like the Instagram page should be more about promoting that, and still here and there a little bit of I guess the lifestyle, us talking in the gym, doing our little shit like that. But like you said, I think the content should be more upscaled and sold towards what we're trying to do with the app and everything like that.
Okay. All right.
If that
So,
makes sense.
so lifestyle.
For like I'm saying that for YouTube, like for Instagram, for instance, like yeah, I guess it would be lifestyle. I would give a like a more start doing more daily routines, showing. I obviously we eat 6 meals a day. Waking up, obviously showing the varieties of meals that I could have. It ain't too many different varieties, but I can't switch it up because Coach just had a conversation with me the other day. Like was asking like what could I do to eat? But I had missed my oatmeal, so I'm trying to figure out what I could do to like replace it. He's like, well, you can know depending on what size tortillas, you can eat three tortillas or two English muffins or blah 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 blah. So it's like with me knowing that now, if I just match the macros, it's the same shit. It's as long as I'm eating clean, so I can come up with different varieties of meals and shit to like intrigue people to like even if when we get the app or whatever, start
Mhm.
using some of the meals. Like obviously we'll have the platform for ourselves to be able to use, so we can adjust it to our liking, the AI liking, because obviously it's AI. We can put in what we're already have on our planet and give us different varieties to make with the chicken or the turkey meat or this like that. Because the way we're making it the same way every time we eat it. But there's 100 different ways to make chicken breast. You know what I'm saying? So just shit like that, I guess.
Okay. All right. And the question is, can you see yourself actually consistently making content, the amount of content that's required in order to properly promote our services and our brands?
I mean, if I'm putting money, if some money involved, of course.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's move on to the second aspect of our focuses, which should be networking and collaborating. Um, I think when it comes to any work that's kind of being done on your end, like let's say the Jay Cutler or the Shizzy, or beyond, what are your thoughts on like well let's just start with those two. Like how are those irons going? Like those irons in the fire going?
As far as what?
Well, you had mentioned doing a podcast with Jay Cutler, and we are currently set to head out to Vegas on the 19th. That's at least what I let Kenny KO know. And I know that Daniel Coffeen is another person that you've been in communication with that we will be meeting with in Vegas. So I'm really just trying to get something on the books and have a firmer understanding as to like what the plan is.
I haven't uh solidified anything as of yet, obviously, because that's the weekend of the show, and we've talked about it. I think you had said something like obviously that weekend of the show is probably gonna be hard for him to like get us on his platform or anything like that. So I feel like I'll keep him informed on what we got going on. I mean, we can make an appearance to pop up at the show and maybe get a little small little like not interview, but like a little small little greeting or some shit like that, and kind of like obviously I will have already let him know that we're coming out there to try to get content and do some shit with him. But then maybe if we could get there, I can like, you know, fill him more in and try to like get him to like, obviously I'm going to pitch the because we've already talked about like trying to get. I already let him out, let him know that I'm trying to get on his podcast and shit like that, and he was down with it or whatever. So, but I feel like I said, with the weekend being so hectic for him like that, we have other things going on out there, and you asked something like if it doesn't happen or some shit like that, like we can double back. So I would just like I can hit him up today, and going forward, if anything, we just play it by ear and then try to make a small little meeting with him. If anything, even if it's just going out to lunch or something like that, just like try to fill him in on some like um kind of like how we did with Greg Doucette. Obviously, we got a podcast with him, but if we just have to, if we can just sit down with Jay and kind of like fill him in on what we got going on, because I feel like what you did with Greg, bringing him onto the team and kind of having somebody as prominent as Greg be a part of what we got going on, it's going to help us sell what we are doing. So regardless if we get the podcast that we're looking to do with Jay out there at that time or the next time or whatever, if we can pitch what our ideas, because obviously he watches a lot of my content. Like that's one thing he does say, he watches a lot of my content, so he already has an idea of what we're doing. So if we can actually sit down and pitch him the whole idea to his face, regardless if it's on podcast or not, I think that would be good anyway.
All right, so let me try to break down what the what the structure would look like. Because on my end, when it comes to the organization of the trip, I want to understand, are we going there for, you know, do we leave on the 18th and then do the collab with Daniel Coffeen, the collab with Kenny KO?
I say we do everything. That's a for sure hand first. Like I said, like it's not that Jay's not trying to meet us. It's just that weekend is really hectic. And when I said the 19th, I didn't think of it the way you thought of it. Like he's gonna be busy, blah 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 blah. So yes, we will go out there and do the Kenny KO shit for sure. We'll do the Daniel Coffee shit for sure. And I say we stay out there. We'll leave the 19th, come back maybe the 21st or something like that. But everything that we do out there is business related. We're not. We might step on the strip to get some content. I don't know if you have a plan. If we have a plan to bring somebody to film for us or anything like that. But
Jeremiah is down for the trip. My only concern is lodging and things of that nature. So if we're going and spending multiple nights there, it's like hotel fees and things of that nature.
well, I
Um,
can I can clock in with my cousin. I have a cousin that lives out there, and I'll see if
okay.
he's cool with us crashing there.
Okay, okay. And the alternative would be to try to get everything in one day, where like we leave and like, we get there at around like let's say 8 o'clock on the 19th or the 20th. We work with, let's say, Daniel Coffeen first and then do Kenny KO directly after. And then maybe we finish the day with, showing up at the bodybuilding show where Jay Cutler is currently present. And that's how we would finish the day and then head back. Like that's not a crazy idea.
I'm with it. I just don't like feeling rushed with shit. That's all. Like I would at least maybe. I mean, it don't matter, but I would feel like at least 2 days, like one day out there and one more extra day out there wouldn't be so bad. Only because I just don't want to feel like we're being rushed to get everything out. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? Like, and just say we go out there the 19th and we go do everything that you're saying, and then we go run up on Jay or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, okay, well, shit, what you guys doing tomorrow?" And then we're like, "Oh, well, shit, we're leaving today." You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
In a
I say,
circumstance like, well, and this is why I'm glad that we're talking about it because right now it's the 8th and, the 19th is 11 days away. And personally, I like to have stuff, set by now. So in the event that we meet with Jay, let's say in this hypothetical scenario, we get down there and we have two collabs set up. We have one with Daniel and one with Kenny KO. Those can be done in one day, right? So then we hit those out. Then we meet with Jay, who's currently not scheduled. This is like a spontaneous, impromptu, whatever happens, whatever happens. And in this hypothetical scenario, if Jay says, "Oh, what are you guys doing tomorrow?" Then we pivot and go, "Okay, well, now if we have to afford a lodging and get a hotel, then we get a hotel because he's top priority anyway. We would have wanted to do whatever we needed to do in order to hop on this podcast. But because it's not a certain, then I don't see the point in trying to add another day into a thing that is not, there's nothing solid right now with that anyway.
"No, I get that. Well, let me see what's up because I wouldn't want to go out there and do what you're saying and then have to spend extra money on canceling a ticket and getting an extra flight to come home. Like,
You would fly to Vegas?
you want to drive?
Yeah.
All right, well, shit, I didn't know you were doing that. Never mind.
I mean, I don't like
That's fine. Nope, that's fine.
yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't. I just didn't. When I thought I was thinking about flying, but yeah, that's fine.
okay. Um all right. So I would say that we should lock down the date for Daniel and Kenny. If it's the 19th, that seems to be the one that makes the most sense because ideally we would do Daniel or Kenny, whichever one's available first, and do the other person directly after, and then finish the day with going to the bodybuilding show that Jay would be present at, and then we head home based off of the interaction with Jay.
Okay, well, I'm about to hit a. How do you spell that food's name really fast? Dang, right here. Dang coffee. I'm about to just text these dudes really fast. Text Jay real fast. All right, so I just text them. I'll let you know what they say and pretty much go from there.
Okay. All right. So I think we'll just un once we hear back from them, I'll let Jeremiah know that the plan is to like kind of go on the 19th early, work with everyone, and then finish up that way. And that's like the current tentative plan. All right. So how about Shizzy? How is that going? We probably has there been any contact since his cat?
Man, I haven't talked to Shizzy since he gave me the camera.
Okay. Okay.
Um, not like that, but you kind of got me back on. I was just started to feel some kind of way or whatever, but I no, I kind of had to let that shit go or whatever. But I just haven't, felt the need as of the moment to reach back out or try to set anything up.
Mhm.
Just feel like might be some better options right now if we
Sure.
can if we can
Yeah.
find
And that's why we're chatting.
just
Because
just because not like that, but just because I don't know. Shizzy is he gives me like the lone wolf vibes. Like when I think about like what happened at the party the night that I met him and shit like that. Like he's really one of those young LA athletes that's by himself. If you notice, like he doesn't really work out with anybody. He might go to young LA here and there sometimes like that, but he's really in the gym by himself or with his brother. So I've like noticed that, and I'm just like I'm not gonna keep trying to assert myself into the world and trying to like involve him in what we got going on. I feel like the best way to maybe possibly get him involved, if it ever is to happen, is to just blow the fuck up with what we got going on. And maybe if he's seeing what we got going on and really takes a liking to it, then he'll be willing to like hit us up or something like that. But I'm not. It's not that I'm not going to hit him up. I just feel like right now with what we got going on, we have a lot of eyes on us, and there's a lot of other players that we can probably plug right now that could make just as much sense.
absolutely. And that kind of makes perfect for a segue, which is I would
And I have
really
I have a guy that I want to do a workout with and get on a podcast with him. The dude Zane, or is I think it's Zay. I think it is Zane, but the dude that Austin, my boy Austin, that introduced me to the natural bodybuilder with the bald head that I showed you. Like,
white guy.
no, he's like I want to say like not Armenian, but he's like I want to say like Indian nationality, like Arabic or some shit like that.
Looks like
Watch
that
me.
guy.
Give me 1 second. I know I've searched
I
you.
know who you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds great. And when it comes to collaboration, the cool thing is that there's so many different ways to collaborate with people within the industry. Instagram Live, working out with them, um, any number of things that you can do in order to, interact with a person and make content and, continue the movement. When it comes to like, I think what's important is to have a firm understanding as to what each collaboration represents. For instance, if we were to work with Zayn, he's a potential player or like a potential person who ends up on the roster, you know, and we don't have to offer him the opportunity immediately. It could be like a vetting where we're like feeling him out, seeing what his story is, but we are doing it with the intention to consider him for a role on the TV show, you know?
Not even on a row. I'm just talking about putting him on the team because I'm like, when you put the guy with the health condition, what made you just jump the gun and automatically add him to the roster?
Because he's unique and he's also a genetic phenom and he's got a community of people supporting him. He's in a niche market of, the diabetic community. So basically, from my perspective, he checks all the boxes. He's got a great physique that's different from other people's great physiques. And he's also fighting for a cause that is separate from anyone else who would be a part of it.
Well, all right. Well, I definitely would like to sit down and talk to my boy Zane because I feel like he'd be just as much of a great asset to the team as well because of how he presents himself in his content.
That's great. And yeah, we would just have to get on the same page, the three of us, as to like what what his persona would be, you know? I think it's really that simple. With Zach, his what he's carrying is his mission to promote the diabetic type 1 diabetics and that whole community. Like that's his mission. So we don't even have to work on him. Like he just shows up and like, oh, and same thing, like during the interview on Instagram Live, he's drinking with a juice box. Like he's literally taking periodic sips of juice from a juice box because of his condition. And it's like, oh, that's perfect for Juice Fam. You know, it's like they go hand in hand. It's like a match made in heaven. So it's like really understanding like what each role player, brings and then learning how to like build off of that. So when it comes to like networking and collaborating, not every person that we network with has to like even be an option for the show, but we do want to have a firm understanding as to like why we're interacting with them, why we're collaborating with them. For instance, if we're about to launch this app, meeting with a person who already has an app.
Well, I've already taken a liking to the dude for one. He's been bodybuilding way longer than us, and he's been doing this shit naturally at a high level. So I just feel like he already has a why as big as ours. He's been trying to necessarily do something that nobody has. He just didn't. He has a pretty big platform, but let's be real. We all know like natural bodybuilding just doesn't have that wow factor that we're getting ready to bring to the stage. So
Mhm.
um, I don't know. I just feel like we should definitely sit down and talk to him because I definitely know he has a lot of I can't explain his story to you, even though I know a lot of the shit, his backstory. But it'd be better if you can hear it from himself. You know what I'm saying? But the dude is definitely I feel like he's definitely somebody that would definitely bring a lot to what we have going on.
That sounds great. And the reason that I'm mentioning it now is because I want to encourage, like, we need to increase everything exponentially. Like, and again, going back to like the three priorities over the next 3 to 5 years, monetization, networking and collaborating, and making content. All three of these things need to be focused on and need to be executed upon on a much higher level than what we're already currently doing. So when it comes to networking and collaborating, like, yeah, let's get Zane on the phone. Let's schedule an IG live with him, or if he's local and if we can travel to him, let's travel to him. But it's like after Zayn, then we have to meet with someone else. Like we should always be scheduling collaborations. We should always be making content, and we should always be driving to monetize our brands.
I feel that.
Okay. Um, that's pretty much it so far as the stuff that I want to talk about. Um, I guess my biggest concern when it comes to and if we were to even use the word such as concern, um, is that I don't want this meeting to end and then like I want to like know that we're on the same page when it comes to when we're not together, if you're focused on everything outside of just like being a bodybuilder, which is like eating, training, and sleeping. Like from my perspective, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from my perspective, you're much more than just an athlete who is a part of this whole movement. From my perspective, you're like a co-founder.
So hold on, sorry. Give me 1 second. What's up, bro? How you doing? Getting you? Chilling? Yes, sir. On this little Zoom call real fast. What you got going on? Finished up right quick. Okay, damn, I missed you, huh? Yeah. What time you being here? Usually early, bro. Okay, shit. I just popped in here early today, man. I'm about to get off the Zoom call in a minute and then hop in there. Bro. Well, well, it's good seeing you, bro. You know, Natty game. Yeah, Natty game. I can see the stuff you do it. Hey, appreciate that, bro. So what? You just stopped bodybuilding, motherfucker? Because I told you a long time ago. You like one of the reasons I even like was intrigued with bodybuilding. Stop what? You stop. You don't compete no more, bro. I never liked. You never liked it, this shit? Because I remember that one time you did that one show with Ruby and yeah. I did a few though, so Vegas, but I just was it your shit? I feel it. I feel it. I feel it, bro. It's good seeing you. My bad.
So good. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that in between calls like these, and obviously this is something, if it's conducive to our goals, this is something that we can do on a consistent basis, having these calls. But I want to get on the same page with you about like making additional effort in these three categories. And what I've seen on my end is not I'll pose it like with a question. Is there a reason why you're not really making that much content on social media currently?
Uh, Not really a reason. Shit, I'm waiting on these. I just bought these batteries. I'm waiting for them to come today. I've just, just haven't really been not in the mood, but I just haven't like had any ideas of what to put out.
That's
Like,
fair.
I
Hmm.
don't really want to keep putting out the same content. Like when I start putting out content, I want to have some type of structure of what I'm doing because if I'm just doing the same shit that I've been doing, I'm doing the same shit. Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I'm not trying to do that. So once I start doing content again, I'm going to clean up my page and I'm going to start funneling the content that I'm trying to promote because I feel like that would be the best way for me. But I just don't want to. I don't know. Like I feel like right now, and I'm in the beginning stages of how when I started making content. Like if I was to make a video and want to post it, I would delete it like 30 minutes later if it doesn't get the views or the shit that I want. And I don't want to feel like that. Like because of not like that, but it's just I'm not putting out meaningful content to myself. So I don't want to keep flooding my page with content that doesn't necessarily mean shit to me.
Hmm.
Like like how we just said, like I'm trying to sell to a certain market. Like the shit that I'm putting out or the shit that you're putting out is not selling to a certain market and it's not doing me any good to do the same shit.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, and I acknowledge all of that, and I would just say that on my end,
But that's still no excuse. Like motherfuckers should still be doing something, but I ain't really had no real ideas, bro.
ChatGPT is really helpful for that, but I think you make a good point about if you're not making content for yourself and the type of stuff that you like, then ChatGPT is not going to give you an idea that you're going to do if you don't like the idea, you know?
Exactly. Because when I first started getting into content, bro, I was doing all that crazy shit I told you and I showed you. I showed you a couple videos of me handstanding on like I used to be in the gym and a motherfucker would send me a video. Oh, bro, I bet you can't do this, and it would be like, now I got this crazy ass interest. Now I'm about to get on top of the motherfucking the pull down machines and do my motherfucking ab roller across the top type shit. Like that was what I was into, and I had always had a fresh idea of content. To, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
like now that we didn't got into the world of bodybuilding, like it's like I'm trying to take a spin off of Daniel Coffey because even before I heard him say this, I feel like I've been looking for this. It's like I'm trying to find my own niche and my own lane in this big ass world of bodybuilding when everybody's doing the same exact shit. We're about to get an app. Every bodybuilder, every fitness influencer, everybody has something like that. What's
Hmm.
going to make ours different? And I don't have a problem with doing it, but we have to bring something to the table that makes ours different. We can't because everybody has a fucking app. Everybody has a fucking fitness online. Everybody, it's the same shit. So it's like when it comes to the content, that's why I feel like I haven't been doing it because I'm trying to find what I like and something that I can consistently do. Like I know that I love to work out and I love to bodybuild, but that's not enough for me to just be putting out content because I want content that I can be satisfied with knowing that I'm getting an audience to like yeah, the content that I've been pushing out, like the comments that we get now, oh, your body's crazy. Oh, this, get comments or DMs. Oh, bro, you see how far you've come and blah, 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 blah. But none of the content that we're putting out is, hey, bro, do you coach? Hey, bro, how much is the program? Hey, bro, so it's like, if I know that I'm trying to generate money off of the shit that I'm doing, I'm not gonna continue putting out that kind of content when I know the fact that it ain't got nobody in my DMs asking about no fucking coaches.
Well, also like you have to have a call to action. If they don't know that you're offering,
And I know, and I know, and that's what I'm getting at. So that's what I'm getting at. Like, obviously, I've promoted on my page a few times here and there, but it's kind of like how you did earlier this year when you was doing your little online shit. Like, I've seen you do it here and there, sporadically throughout the last few months. But when you first had made that program, you were on top of it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I don't know why you stopped. Maybe it's because you haven't. Maybe you got the clients that you needed or whatever. But that's just how I felt for myself. Like it's like I'll do that shit for maybe a week straight. I have a bunch of people getting my DMs asking about this shit, and then it's not that I don't know how to get a person to buy in or I can't sell the product, but it's like I'll give a motherfucker, oh bro, well give me $120 a month and I'll do this and da 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 da, and it's like okay, well next month I'll hit you up and we'll start on next month. So I'm like, okay, well shit, I'll hit you up next month, and I really will. And then it just dies right there. Like, bro, $120 ain't shit compared to what other motherfuckers like. So when I get on these Zoom calls with other influencers that are doing 5,000 a month and shit like that, and they're telling them like, bro, you're selling yourself really low at 120, and so it's like, how in the fuck are you selling 5,000 a month when a motherfucker won't even buy 120 a month for me?
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like that's why I don't consistently put out the I'm looking for clients or I'm looking for this because even when I do have a motherfucker in my DM trying to figure out some shit, they don't ever fall through. I've had literally, bro, since I've been doing this for 5 years, I've had maybe 20 consistent clients, if that, and that shit's been sporadic. I had one lady and her two kids that I had when I first met. I think I was training. Those are the only motherfucking. Those are the like the last clients that I had that was real consistent.
Mhm.
That's it. So it's like, and that lady found me.
Mhm.
I wasn't, that's the shit that was just so fucking crazy. I wasn't even promoting an online business. I wasn't doing shit. The lady DM'd me and said, hey, I was just wondering, do you do online? I mean, do you do training? Like, are you a personal trainer? I'm like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. She's like, I came across your page, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I've been looking for trainers for me and my kids. And, da, 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 you just sparked my interest. Da, da, da. She's like, would you be interested? I'm like, hell yeah. So we set up a little meeting or whatever, and met her at the gym, da da da, and we started from there. But it was like that every other time it'd be a motherfucker that I see in the gym. And motherfucker, oh bro, can you train me some shit? And I'll work them out or whatever. And now I'm like, oh well, shit, could you train me for? So I'll train them like that. But other than that, it's never nothing that's consistent enough. So it's like that's what dissuades me from like pushing out this content because it's like I still don't know how to even grab a motherfucker's not of attention, but I don't know how to grab them and make them buy in.
Sure. Yeah. And I hear you on everything. I have two things. The first thing I'll say is that it doesn't have to be coaching. You know, like if you don't resonate with coaching, then you don't have to do it as like a means of income. The reason that I'm pivoting, I don't want to just be an online coach. I actually want to focus more on mindset. So when it comes to offering services on online coaching, I want to focus more on how can I change your perspective on your
And
limiting
see,
beliefs. Hmm.
and that's something that I feel like I would be better at because I'm not the nigga. I don't care. Like I don't care to train, even if it's online. Like not like online, but like if it makes sense to do online coaching, then yeah. But I've never really training people has never been something that I've really cared about. Like I could have had a job at multiple gyms to train people. I've been offered hella jobs, but that's never been some shit that I've been intrigued for. But what you just said, I feel like I do that for kids already. Help them change their minds. I've been doing that shit for the last 4 or 5 years, coaching. So it's like that's some shit that yeah, I just off the back I can see myself saying yeah, I would love to help a motherfucker feel like they can be the best version of themselves, and no, not physically, mentally.
Right. Yeah. So we're on the same page about that. So when it comes to the type of content that I want to make in that realm, when it comes to like call to actions, and this is how I'm able to work with you and stuff like that, my intention is to create content around how can I help you change your mindset about your health and wellness goals, about your life goals, things of that nature. So that's my intention moving forward when it comes to that specific content. Um, Going back, it's like when it comes to making money, I just finished watching a Frank Zane interview. Like he was working as a chemist or a science teacher right up into his first Mr. Olympia. So, and like we've already had this discussion, like people work full-time jobs before they even become beyond like successful in the bodybuilding industry. So it's like we just have to figure out how to like survive these next 3 to 5 years before we're millionaires. Like that's all we have to figure out. And we shouldn't not make content in the meantime is what I'm trying to impress. Like content is so important because there's no one else making our content. Like we have to represent ourselves period. Whether we're making money or not, money is really just to allow us to, you know, afford our lifestyles, you know, put gas in the car. And like, you already know what fucking money does, but we need to make content consistently in order to promote ourselves and who we are.
I hear you.
Yeah. And then again, just because we have to yeah, we still got a little time. But like they're really all supposed to feed into like one beautiful triangle where it's like content on one hand, monetization on another hand, and collaboration on a third. And you know, big picture, Valley, big picture is like the entire industry works with us by the end of our careers. So that means it's like enhanced bodybuilders, fitness coaches, natural bodybuilders, judges, they're all supposed to know the names of Sean Fury and Valley Muscle. So there's no like, we don't have to wait to get started when it comes to collaborating with people. We can be collaborating with people right now. And they know us 5 years from now because we're working with them right now.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But shit, let me go start this workout before this next meeting, bro.
You know the next meeting's at 12, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And I was trying to. That's why I put up to the gym so I can start this workout.
Okay. All right. I'll see you in 10 minutes.
All right.
All right.